Your revenue is up. Your customer base is growing. Your team just hit their quarterly targets. And yet, somehow, you're still broke. Not struggling, not tight, broke. Welcome to the most confusing paradox in modern business, the one where success and survival become two completely different things. Let me show you what's actually happening. Picture this. It's 2022. A small e-commerce brand sells eco-friendly water bottles. They do $2 million in revenue that year. The founder posts about it on LinkedIn, investors take meetings, employees get bonuses. By mid-2023, they're out of business. What happened? They were growing, they were selling, they were doing everything right. Except they weren't, because revenue isn't profit, and profit isn't cash, and cash is the only thing that actually matters when your supplier demands payment in 30 days and your customers pay you in 90. This isn't a story about bad management. It's a story about a trap that's built into the architecture of growth itself. Here's how it works. You start a business. You make a product for $10. You sell it for $20. Simple math. $10 profit per unit. Scale that up and you're rich, right? Wrong. Because before you can sell that product, you have to buy inventory. Let's say you're confident, so you order 1,000 units. That's $10,000 out of your bank account today. You don't get that money back until you sell the units, and you don't sell 1,000 units overnight. Month 1, you sell 200 units. Great, $4,000 in revenue, $2,000 in profit on paper. But in reality, you're still $8,000 in the hole. You spent $10,000 and only got $4,000 back. Month 2, another 200 units. You're at $8,000 revenue total, $4,000 profit total. Still $2,000 poorer than when you started. Month 3, same thing. Now you've sold 600 units, $12,000 in revenue, $6,000 in profit. Sounds good, except you're still $4,000 negative on cash. And here's the kicker. If demand is strong, you have to reorder inventory before you've even sold through the first batch. Another $10,000. Now you're $14,000 in the hole. You're growing, you're profitable on paper, and you're drowning. This is called the cash conversion cycle, and it kills more businesses than bad products ever will. But wait, it gets worse, because growth doesn't just drain cash through inventory, it drains it everywhere. You're selling more, so you hire another employee. That's salary, benefits, payroll taxes, paid up front, every 2 weeks, whether or not customers have paid you yet. You're shipping more, so you upgrade your warehouse space. First month, last month, security deposit. 3 months' rent gone immediately. You're scaling marketing. Facebook wants their ad spend now, not when the customer converts, not when they pay you. Now. Every single input to your business demands cash before the output generates it. And the faster you grow, the wider that gap becomes. This is why venture capital exists, not because startups need money to survive, but because they need money to grow. Growth is expensive, extraordinarily expensive, and it's expensive before it's profitable. Let me give you real numbers. In 2021, the average B2B SaaS company had a cash conversion cycle of negative 47 days, meaning they paid their bills 47 days before they collected money from customers. For a company doing $10 million in revenue, that's roughly $1.3 million just sitting in limbo, money they've spent but haven't received. E-commerce is worse. The average fashion retailer, negative 80 days. Consumer electronics, negative 110 days. You can be profitable every single quarter and still run out of money in week 6 of quarter 3. And here's the part nobody tells you. Your bank doesn't care about your profit margin. When you ask for a loan, they don't ask how much profit you made last year. They ask how much cash you have, because cash is real. Profit is a story you tell on a spreadsheet. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but successful companies figure this out. Amazon figured it out. Apple figured it out. Sure, let's talk about Amazon.
Amazon famously operated at a loss for years. People thought Bezos was insane. Turns out he understood something most people didn't. Amazon's cash conversion cycle was positive, meaning customers paid Amazon before Amazon paid its suppliers. How? They didn't hold inventory. They were a marketplace. Someone buys a book, Amazon collects the money, then Amazon pays the publisher 30 days later. They had use of your money for a month before they had to spend it. That's not a business model. That's a banking operation disguised as a bookstore. Apple does something similar. They have so much leverage over suppliers that they get 120-day payment terms, but customers pay Apple immediately. Apple gets to hold billions of dollars interest-free, just sitting in the gap between when they collect and when they pay. If you're a small business, you get the opposite deal. You pay suppliers upfront, customers pay you eventually, and the bank charges you interest to cover the difference. The game is rigged, just not in the way you think. So what does this mean for the company that's growing revenue, hitting targets, and still going broke? It means they're not failing, they're suffocating, because the math of growth demands more cash than growth itself produces. You need money to make money, but more precisely, you need money before you make it. And if you don't have it, you have three options: raise it, borrow it, or stop growing. Most businesses can't raise it. Investors are picky. Most businesses can't borrow it. Banks are risk-averse. So they do the third thing. They stop growing. Not because they want to, but because survival demands it. And that's the quiet tragedy of modern capitalism. The businesses that could grow, that should grow, that have product market fit and customer demand stall out, not because they're bad at business, but because they're bad at cash. Here's the uncomfortable truth. We've built an economy that rewards businesses with access to capital and punishes businesses without it. It doesn't matter how good your product is, it doesn't matter how hard you work. If you can't finance the gap between spending and earning, you lose. And the gap keeps getting wider. Payment terms are stretching, suppliers want cash faster, customers want credit longer. The small business is stuck in the middle, juggling invoices like a street performer with flaming torches. One mistimed payment and the whole thing burns down. So the next time you see a business shut down and wonder what went wrong, ask a different question. Not were they profitable, but did they have cash? Because you can be right about everything, the market, the product, the price, and still be wrong about the one thing that actually matters: timing.